Anyway, what we're doing tonight is we're going to go over not an entire article. It's a rather long article. We'll probably just be looking at the first paragraph of it. And it's amazing how much you can get out of one paragraph. So we'll just be looking at that, and we'll be talking about some of the vocabulary. And we can also talk about Halloween, because that's what this is about. So let me just show you. I can't remember which is which. I think it's this one. This is the history of Halloween. And if you're interested in reading the entire thing, I'm going to put to this entire story. There's a website. I'll put a box. If there's somebody listening later and you don't have access to that, I'll put it underneath the video so you can get it. So you can go read the entire thing. So this is the story, and let me check. I believe there's a lot. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of pages. There's 7 pages. We're probably only going to look at the first page, which is, well, not even the first page, this first paragraph. So right here. So, I have put it onto another page where we can see it in much bigger, your lettering and so on. But normally at this time we've had a Q&A session, and I didn't want you to miss out on that. So after we talk about this for a little bit, I'll be to answer any questions you have about anything that you want, okay? Let me show you, sorry, not that one, this one. Okay, history of Halloween. And if you don't mind, I'm going to read you, there's just 3 short pages here. I'm going to read you just the overview of history of Halloween, and then we can talk about it, and we're going to talk about things in here, and then we can talk a little bit about the history of Halloween too. So let me read this to you. Excuse me. It says, history of Halloween. The line between fall and winter, play and paucity, death. Halloween is a time of celebration and superstition, thought to have originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off roaming ghosts. Century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor all saints and martyrs. The All Saints' Day incorporated some of the traditions of Samhain. Before was known as All Hallows' Eve, and later Halloween. Halloween evolved into a secular, community-based event characterized by child-friendly activities such as trick-or-treating. In countries around the world, as the days grow shorter and the nights get colder, people continue to usher in the winter season with gatherings, costumes, and sweet treats. Okay, that's just an overall of that. Very first paragraph, or an overview, rather. Okay, let me unmute everybody, okay? And just be careful of your background noise. And let's take a look at this first page here. Let's see, I'm going to unmute everybody. I hope that's okay. So if you'll take a look at the first page here, and let's just go through it and talk about anything that you are not sure of. Let me give a few numbers in here so you can tell me if there's anything in that general area that you wonder about. Meaning, pronunciation, anything like that. I have several things. I have several things to talk about. So, do you see any words in there? First of all, do you see any words that you don't know the meaning of?
Straddling.
I'm really glad you brought that up. Okay, so this is a verb. It is to straddle. And it has an a sound in it, straddle. It's a little easier to show than tell sometimes. It's basically when you put one leg on one side and one leg on the other side. So if there's a line here, here's a line, and then you're standing and you put one leg over here, a leg over here. You're straddling the line. You would You would probably straddle a horse if you rode it. So to straddle. It's about straddling the line between fall and winter, plenty and paucity, life and death. Any idea what they're talking about? To straddle the line between fall and winter. Do you have a feeling of it?
Winter?
In the middle. That's really what it is. So Halloween is on October 31st, and it's not really fall anymore, but it's also not really winter yet. It depends on where you live. But so you're right in the middle. You're right in the middle of fall and winter. Okay, straddle. What else in there? Do you see anything else in there that you are not of?
How to say paucity?
Mm-hmm. So paucity, it has an AU in it. So some people will say oh, and I would say ah, pa, and then a schwa and a soft T. Paucity. Paucity. What does paucity mean?
In poor situation. Right.
Yeah, it does. It actually would be the opposite of plenty. So, it's talking about the middle between plenty and not plenty. Okay. I think a better word, paucity, is. I have ever used the word paucity in my life. Maybe you have in academics somehow. In fact, I didn't even know what it was until I was working with somebody on the GRE and we came across this word. It's not an everyday word. A word that I would use maybe is scarcity. In other words, scarcity?
Yeah, scarcity.
Or scarce. Okay, scarce means very little. Yeah. So if we have scarce resources, we don't have very much. So scarcity. That would probably be the word that I would choose, is scarcity, or if something is very scarce. In fact, in California right now, water is very scarce. We don't have a lot of water. It's scarce, so we're facing a scarcity situation. Yeah. So paucity, scarcity, paucity. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anybody use it outside of an academic circle anyway. So if you don't remember the word paucity, I don't care. But I do think that if you don't know the word scarcity, you should probably put it in your own personal dictionary.
Okay. Maybe rarity, right?
Well, rarity is possible, but rarity has kind of the meaning of it happens occasionally, but scarcity means there's just not much available. For example, his appearance at a party is a rarity because he doesn't come very often. It has just a tiny bit of difference in feeling. If something is scarce, it just means it doesn't exist. Not much. Yeah. So, about any other things? And Madi, Nico, feel free to jump and ask. Is there anything else you're not sure of the meaning?
It's I
know which one you're talking about. This one, right?
The name of the person, or
no? It's the name of basically the name of a holiday. But it was an ancient holiday, and I guess some people still celebrate it these days. But you're going to be really, really surprised about the pronunciation. This time I saw it, I thought it was Samhain, but it's nothing like that. It's actually Samhain. Let's say Samhain.
Samhain.
So I think the only things that you can hear the S in the N. But it's an ancient holiday, and it's from several thousand years ago. We'll talk more about it in a little bit, but it's Samhain, and it's October 1st. So it's part of the origin of Halloween. Okay, I have a question. What's the pronunciation of this one, and what does it mean?
Celtic.
Celtic. Actually, they both work. If you look in the dictionary, you can see both of them. Now, there's a team called the Celtics, and that definitely has an S sound. But if you're talking about the ancient people, it's usually Celtic. So, you've heard this before, Marty?
Okay.
There is some music about Celtic.
Yes. It's Irish music.
Celtic woman.
Yeah, I think the Celtic people lived in Ireland, maybe across northern England, or that northern area, and maybe a little bit into Europe too. But basically, it's an ancient people. But I think there's kind of a revival going on of Celtic things. So there's a Celtic festival. Samhain was a Celtic festival. A lot of people are not sure about the pronunciation of Ancient.
Ancient.
Ancient. I don't think I've heard people say ancient, but I'm trying to think if it could be possible in some English, but I would say ain. It's actually a long A. Ain. Like when you would say Wayne or Rain, it's ain. And then the CIENT is like an SH. NT. Shunt. Ancient. Ancient Celtic Festival.
Celtic festival.
So an ancient Celtic. The I is usually a schwa. Sometimes I sound a short I sound, but Celtic, ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Okay. Anything else that you see? Sorry about that. Let's see. Sometimes people feel confused between the pronunciation of these two words. So when you wear special clothes, it's called
costume.
Costumes, yeah. Costumes. And this one, the way that we do things, customs. Yeah. Maybe you don't have a problem with that, but I've noticed some people feel kind of confused because they look somewhat similar. So wear costumes. So is anybody wearing costumes for Halloween this year?
I think so.
Well, usually it's children, but there are a lot of parties for adults, and they wear costumes. Sometimes fun costumes, weird costumes. Okay, this one, words that have WAR in them. If you had a CAR, you would say car. If you had TAR, you would say tar. But if you have WAR, it sounds more like an O. War. So, fight in a war or ward off. Ward off is a phrasal verb, to ward off. If you ward off something, what do you do?
Get it off or no?
You kind of keep it from coming to you. Yeah, maybe it still exists, but you don't allow it to come to you. So, actually, you can even ward off a cold. When it's cold outside and everybody's getting sick, if you're really careful with your immune system, sometimes you can ward off a cold. Is that right, Ms. Pharmacist?
Yes, I think.
Just checking, see if I ward off a cold. But on Halloween, you want to ward off ghosts. So these are roaming ghosts. Some pronounced it like this: Roman, not the same. Okay, roaming has an E sound. Roaming ghosts. Okay. Do you know the difference, by the way, between a bonfire, which is stressed on bonfire, and just a fire?
Bon.
No, it's just the, how can I say, the bath or
Well, I'm not sure. This is my feeling about it. A fire can be any fire, but bonfire is a fire that you make to be big, and people can gather around it.
Use a bonfire to make match.
Yeah, that's right. If you want to roast marshmallows, which is fun. Okay. I'm ready to go to the next page. Do you see anything else we should discuss first? To the next one, and we'll continue there. So I'm just going to give you some general. I'm not sure of the meaning of.
Hey, hi.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, oh, sorry, the girl I'm dating had called me, so, I was on the phone with her.
Okay, no problem. So, is there anything here that you are not sure of?
Second sentence, matter.
I thought so. Okay, first of all, pronunciation, is kind of funny. It's kind of similar to murder, but it R sound instead. It's kind of a weird spelling, but it's the same as martyr. Martyr. So, what's a martyr?
Martyr.
You talk about somebody kills somebody?
Yeah, what's this?
Okay, so murder means to kill somebody.
Murder.
Martyr. Now, this is a noun and a verb. So, a martyr or to martyr. Some martyrs. A martyr is somebody who is murdered, who is killed, usually because of their religious beliefs. Maybe they were asked to deny their beliefs, and they didn't deny their beliefs, and so they were killed because of that. That kind of person would be called a martyr. So literally a martyr is somebody who is killed because of their beliefs. But sometimes we use it in a more figurative way. For example, let's say a good example. Say somebody is always being treated poorly, and the person allows herself to be treated poorly. I might say, stop being such a martyr. Stop allowing people to treat you so poorly. Don't be a martyr. Sometimes it's used in a less literal way. They're not really being killed, but they're being treated poorly, and they're allowing it to happen. Oh, poor me. Well, don't poor me. Do something. Don't just be a martyr. Okay, so kind of that idea. But martyr literally is somebody killed because of their beliefs.
Should I be able to find the link?
Are you able to see the screen right now?
No. But not on my computer.
What do you see?
I can see the 8th century, Pope Gregory III. I can see.
Yep. That's where.
Gotcha.
Okay,
gotcha.
Okay, good. So, this
is martyr?
Martyr.
Martyr.
Yeah, so I would soften the T up a bit.
Martyr.
Yeah.
So time to honor all saints and martyrs.
Yeah.
Oh,
murderers. Yeah. So it sounds kind of like murder, but mur begins with and mar has r.
Martyrs.
Okay, so when you see holiday, don't forget there's a schwa there. You don't usually say holiday, although it does come from holy.
Oh,
I don't know if you know, but it to mean holy.
holiday.
Holiday. Is there anything else that you see? Anybody that you want to ask about?
Oh, I'm again pronouncing it as holiday. Holiday.
That's almost it. Instead of saying holiday.
Holiday.
Mhm.
Holiday.
Holiday. It's holiday.
Holiday.
Right. As to what hallow means. Hallow.
Whereas have that holy people have that that stuff around about head.
Oh, halo. That's good. That has an A sound in it. So somebody's head and they have the halo overhead or on their head.
Yeah.
So not halo. This that has an A sound and this has an halo. It means sacred. It comes from the word holy.
Halo.
It means like holy or sacred. So talk about, for example, if I said it's hallowed ground, maybe a cemetery is on hallowed ground or something. I mean, it's holy ground or sacred ground. So Hallows Eve it used to be a religious holiday. And Eve, of course, means evening. So it's saying New Year's Eve, the night before, and this one, the night before the sacred day. We can talk more about that in a bit. Okay, so meaning or pronunciation. Is there anything else before I go to the next page? I hope you can't hear my background noise. There's a little crying because her gone.
Sherry, I wanna know just line honor. H-U-N-O-R. How do you pronounce?
Oh, good. Right here. So right here. It's how when you say honest, the ah sound. It's the same ah. It's honor. To honor. So honest and honor have the same beginning. They come from the same root.
Honor.
Give a second so I can shut the door. Okay. 1 sec. Back. I'm sorry about that. Okay, and the holiday itself. What stress is it? Halloween. Say. Where are you stressed? Yeah, that's right. It's actually stressed on Halloween. Halloween. It doesn't have to be super stressed, but it does need to be stressed. So it's Halloween.
Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Halloween?
That's right. There's a sh in the middle. Halloween. Okay, check out this one. Okay, so. Some numbers here, so you can direct me. 3, 4, 5. If you can tell approximate area. Options. Maybe you have a few too. What's the pronunciation of this one? Evolved.
Oh.
Is it an or a schwa? work. Yeah, it's exactly that because it's unstressed in the beginning. So it's evolve or evolve. And usually when you have an OL spelling, you say ol, like old or gold, but not here. This is more like an ah, evolved. Now, there may be some dialects that say it a little bit differently, but generally in North American English, you're going to say evolved. Evolved. Yeah. And this one, meaning enunciation. You stressed on se and 2 weak syllables, and it has a little ya in it. It's going to be se. Secular. Okay, so it's secular. What is secular? Any word before? Secular. We live in a secular society.
Yeah, it's to sacred.
So when you talk about something that is secular, it's kind of the opposite of anything that is religious. It's really used in the context of religion. So it's kind of like when you say he's a patient, you mean that there's probably a doctor involved, right? You wouldn't say he's a patient unless you're talking about the medical world. If you say secular, it's usually because you're talking about the religious world. It means the non-religious world, I guess. So if you live in a secular society, then it means that it's a religious society. Otherwise, you live in a religious society, I suppose. Secular. That's a good one. That is one that everybody should know. So if you didn't know that before, you may want to put it into your personal dictionary as well. Secular. Any other things down here?
Question about fourth sentence. Asha. This is different from the word Asha I know.
Well,
someone take me to the seat in the concert hall or something.
Well, you're right. Now, I thought you were going to talk about the famous person named Usher, but you're right. To usher, okay. To usher means who is an usher? A person will take you to your seat, like in a theater. To usher means to take you to the seat, and usher means somebody who does it. But it's not so different. People continue to usher in the winter season. So when you usher, you bring somebody to their seat. Usher the winter season in. You bring in, unless that you bring in the winter season with gatherings, costumes, sweet treats. So it's kind of how you allow it to come in. That's how you bring it in. Do something for New Year's. Do you ever do anything for New Year's, like religious or secular? It could be. Some people will go to a mountain and they will watch the sunrise. Do you ever do anything for New Year's? New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and you can say, "Welcome New Year." Same thing. In the new year by doing something. So these guys are bringing in the winter season by gathering costumes and sweet treats. I hope it makes sense. It just means we're welcoming it. We're bringing it. Just an usher brings you to your seat. Okay. That you or
Hey.
Mhm.
Hey.
Hello.
Secular, right?
Use a schwa and say sekia. Yeah. Secular activity. If we were to say it's a secular school, that means not a religious school. Okay, secular. Okay, so from this, let's go back a little bit and let's see. Oh, if you don't mind, I'm going to read it to you again. Actually, listen, we'll discuss it, and then if you want, you can take a chance to read it too. So let me mute you once again, all right? I'm trying to read this. Okay, this says, History of Halloween. The line between fall and winter, plenty, life and death. Halloween is a time of celebration and superstition. By the way, why don't you read it with me? Nobody can hear you right now. Okay, let me go on. It is thought to have originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off roaming ghosts. Century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor all saints and martyrs. The All Saints' Day incorporated some of the traditions of Samhain. The day before was known as All Hallows Eve and later Halloween. Over time, Halloween evolved into a secular, community-based event characterized by child-friendly activities such as trick-or-treating. In countries around the world, as the days grow shorter and the nights get colder, people continue to usher in winter season with gatherings, costumes, and sweet treats. Okay, so did you notice it sound a little bit different to your ear as we read it again, and you'll know the meanings of some of these and the pronunciation of some of these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance to read it yourself in a moment. So let's talk about it for a bit. This is just a really short article, so if you want to go read the entire thing, you can see that link there. Yeah. So what do you know about it? Tell me, just from your own past, what do you know about Halloween? Where did it come from? Renaud?
Yeah. That's from an ancient practice.
Mm-hmm. Ready?
Yeah. I have a guess. This was from an ancient Indian practice. Who used to in the United States.
It's really an ancient American practice.
Yeah, Native American.
It's a European one.
Oh.
Believe it or not.
And I know that
it's in the UK area. So
I know that the Pope had anything to do with that.
It's all interrelated because you know the meaning of. Let me find another thing here. Have you heard of these words? Heard of the word pagan?
Yeah.
Pagan is often used in a religious sense to mean non-believers. But a pagan, according to definition, is someone, let's say, someone who worships nature. Okay, like the sun, the moon, the earth, the trees, the water. So 2,000 years ago, and before that, the Celts were considered pagans because I don't know the details of their religion, but they did worship nature and religious rites. But they believed that actually, I think they had their New Year's Day November 1st.
So are those refer to the people for or countries?
So it's more of a. It mainly means these days when I think about it, it's more about Ireland and a few other areas. but I'm not positive because I think there were some Celts in Northern Europe, but I don't know the details. So I'm just giving you kind of the overall history that I've heard. But I've heard that the Celts celebrated New Year's Day on November 1st. So they believe that the day before, well, they believe that when the New Year's Day started, they called it, I think, I'm not really sure, but thinning, thin, to make thin, the veil between life and death. Say, I don't even know what you call it, but like the spirit world and the mortal world, life and death. They believed that on that day, I guess if you wanted to visit your ancestors who died, maybe this is a good day to do it because that's the time when it was easy to go between the two worlds. Okay, that's what I understand. And this was a few thousand years ago. In fact, they say that during that time, people worried that spirits and ghosts would come to visit the earth on that day. So that's why they dressed up like ghosts and terrible things, which is kind of funny. So we still do that. We don't know why we do that, but it comes from that ancient activity, I guess, of dressing up because they didn't want the ghosts to recognize them. They wanted them to think that they were just more ghosts. so the reason the Pope was involved is when the Catholic Church started getting more popular throughout Europe, a lot of the pagan holidays, Christian holidays, overlapped. So we have a lot of holidays. If you look at Christian holidays like Easter and Christmas, the dates are actually on pagan holidays or similar to pagan holidays. And so this started as a pagan holiday. So a lot of people wanted to practice the pagan rites. And so the Pope decided, I'm not sure how much was involved, how much of the decision was involved, but they decided to make the holiday, it's called All Saints Day, on November 1st. So they designated November 1st as a time to honor all saints and martyrs. So it's called All Saints Day. So it's the same as the New Year, the Celts. So they were kind of intermixed. And that's that way for them to get the people who were trying to practice some pagan things involved in Christian ceremonies. A lot of people don't realize it, but they were mixed at some point. So
does the pagans celebrate Christmas?
They celebrate something called Yule, or maybe there's another name for it, but it's actually the celebration of the winter. So know much about it, but if you know very much about like religion, have you ever heard of it? So, pagan religion, that's kind of a modern pagan religion that exists today. And so people celebrate the beginning of spring, the beginning of summer, the beginning of fall, the beginning of winter. And so those are based on the holidays that pagans used to follow. So there was a winter celebration, and that was December 21st, 22nd, and so Christmas is very close to that. There was a spring celebration that was in the springtime, and so with Easter in the springtime. Anyway, if you go back and read about it, you can say that there were some mixings of some of the customs because they kind of overlapped well. So, going from what I understand is that this was originally a pagan holiday, this All Hallows Eve, and it came a little bit later. But let me about this All Hallows Eve. It's hallow meaning sacred, right? Sacred because it's Saints' Day, November 1st, and it's the night before. And later, in fact, I did the daily dose that you'll see tomorrow, or rather, it talks about where did we get the word Halloween. It comes from All Hallows Eve, which means sacred evening. So these days, when you see kids dressed up in costumes trying to get candy, and there's lots of ghosts and scary things, it's kind of difficult to believe that it means sacred evening, but that's where it came from.
Mm.
Yeah. These days, we dress up like ghosts that came from the long time ago. Where the candy came from, but we carve pumpkins, like pumpkins, and that's because when the Europeans, especially Irish and so on, came to the Americas, they in Europe they used to carve and make lanterns so they could carry them at night so they could see. But it was easier to find pumpkins in the Americas, and so that's how they started carving pumpkins. So there's a lot of interesting history behind it. I don't know it so well, but I've read up on it a little bit. And so, again, if you want to know more, you can go read that article, give you the link to. I think you'll find it interesting. Let me show you two things on this page that I didn't point out, and I would like to show you. Is when reading out loud, see the name of the Pope here? You say the name.
Sorry.
The third. Yeah. That's right. The third. So the second, the third, the fourth, yeah. The written in there. And here the SE or whatever it is. So also, you see the writing November 1, but when you pronounce it, you say
November.
The first.
Yeah. Here I hear people say November 1. So yeah, November 1st. All right. Okay. Okay, does anybody want to try it out?
Yeah, what?
Would you keep the notes there, or do you want me to erase the notes?
No, the notes are fine.
Okay, they don't bother you. Okay.
History of Halloween.
Right. And just a second. Let me down some notes as you're speaking, and we'll talk about it. All right, go ahead.
History. Battling the line between Earth and winter, plenty and poverty, life. Halloween is a time of sin and superstition.
Good. Say superstition, not stition.
Superstition.
Mm-hmm.
Celtic
Oh, one. I better if you remember that in the future.
Of Sauron. People want and where born off girls.
Okay. Go on.
8th century for the third designated November 1st and to honor of Saint others.
Martyrs. Okay, remember murder is totally different. Yeah, martyrs.
And martyrs of Halloween are incorporated traditions of our before was not all Halloween.
All Hallows Eve.
All Hallows Eve. Later, Halloween.
Okay, one sec. You see the image?
That's it. Halloween is in
community-based event.
Vent. Stress on vent.
Community-based event by activities such as or treating.
By the way, most people say tricker, kind of like it's an ER on the end. Trick or treating.
Treating.
Mm-hmm.
In countries around the world, these daughters and the night gets hurt. People continue to usher in the season with gatherings, costs, and treats.
Not bad. On the word winter, you can do it two ways. You can say winter with a t, winter without a t, because you don't say winder with a d sound. It's the one thing that doesn't work there. So winter or winter. So the winter season, yeah. Which makes it sound like he's a winner, not a loser. And that happens a lot when people speak quickly. But I'm positive, but I think I heard winder when you said it. So make sure that the T in that one doesn't sound like d, der.
Winter.
Fine. All right, not bad at all. Thank you. Hopefully some of those little things I mentioned will help, but that's not okay. Let's let somebody else read. I'm just going to mute you for a sec, okay? And Mari or John Young, you can unmute yourself if you want to read. You want to try it, Mari? Okay. Yeah. Let me go back. Okay. Go ahead.
History of Halloween.
Okay, I'm going to stop you for 1 second. I know very well your R is great. Can you say history?
History.
That's okay. Continue on.
History of Halloween. Traveling the line between fall and winter, planning and paucity, life and death. Halloween is a time of celebration and superstition.
Superstition, short I. Superstition.
It's thought to have originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. People would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off roaming ghosts.
Okay, good. I'm just imagining those roaming ghosts. Okay.
In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November the 1st as a time to honor all saints and murder. Murder.
Sounds like saying murder to me. So like car.
Okay. Murder. Murders the holiday.
All Saints Day.
Holiday. Holiday.
Yeah, when it's written like that, it's holiday.
Holiday. All Saints Day incorporated some of the traditions of Samhain. The evening before was known as All Hallows Eve, and the Halloween. Halloween.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Overtime. Halloween.
Oh, sorry. Make sure you say overtime. Overtime means you work too many hours. So, stress time. Overtime.
Halloween. Into a secular community-based event characterized by child-friendly activities such trick or treating.
Tricker, if you want, and let me write it. It sounds like tricker. Trick or treating.
Trick or treating. number of countries around the world as the days grow shorter and the nights get colder. Continue to usher in the winter season with gatherings, costumes, and sweet treats.
Good. You can open your a little to make it an all costumes.
Costumes.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you say, how much does it cost? It still has an aw sound, cost.
Costumes.
Right. Yeah, and remember the event is stressed on vent.
Event. Event.
Good. Very, very nice.
Very much.
Okay, I'm going to mute you a bit and see, John Young, if you want to try this out, you're welcome to. Do you want to? You can unmute yourself, and I'll know that you're interested. Okay. There.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
History of Halloween. In the line between fall and winter. Plant Thursday. Life. Halloween is a time of celebration and superstition.
Remember, stress before sun. Superstition. Mm-hmm.
Superstition.
Good.
It ought to have originated with the ancient festival of Samhain. Would light bonfire costumes to roaming ghosts.
Let's see.
Okay. In the 8th century, Pope the Third
Pope.
designated.
It's a long O. Pope. Yeah. Pop is so different.
Pope Gregory the Third designated November 1st to honor all saints and others. The holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Murders.
Got
The All Saints Day. In some of the traditions of Samhain, before was an All Hallows Eve and Halloween.
Good. Okay. You have incorporated, in British English, you can stress rate, but in American English, you can't stress rate, so it would be stressed here. Incorporated.
Incorporated. Okay.
Good. Okay. And the last one.
Okay. Over time, Halloween evolved into a secular, community-based event, characterized by child-friendly activities such as trading. In love countries around the world, as it grows shorter and the lines getting colder,
the night. Careful with your hand. Night.
Gather. People continue to in the winter season, the gatherings and sweet treats.
Bravo. Okay, good. All right. Okay, let me unmute everybody, okay?
Okay.
Unmute. Okay, everybody's unmuted. Okay, good. So, you think you learned anything new tonight? A few new words, perhaps? Maybe a little bit about Halloween.
History.
A little about history. Yeah, go read the entire article. I think it'll be good. There's a lot of vocabulary there, too, to work on and think about if you want. So as far as vocabulary, I would definitely add secular into it. Don't worry about words like Samhain. A martyr is a good word. It's not going to be an everyday word, but you should know what it means. We use it enough where you definitely know what it means. So I would recommend that one. And then going backwards, I said paucity. That is not very common. So if you forget it, I don't care. But I would make sure that you are saying scarcity or scarce. That is actually very, very common. And you need to know the word straddle. Straddle.
Straddle.
Yeah.
Straddle.
You should know what straddle means. So one thing on one side, one thing on the other side, like your leg side and the other on the other side. Straddle is a good word to know.
Yeah, sorry.
Make sure that you if you can hear them and use them and everything. Good. Okay. Well, I didn't want to take away from your question and answer time. So if you have any questions that you'd like answered, I'll be happy to listen and try to answer them. Does anybody have anything they wanted to ask tonight? Anything specific?
Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let
me get a new page here.
Okay, I just okay. So we need to go which or it. Some people say same, and some people say whether and where. So
some people say that. Do you ask them, or can you recognize it, or what do you think?
Check the dictionary. So probably the age is like apprentice in apprentice. So, but I had almost same, but do you want differently?
Both are used, but I would say that the "h" with the sound isn't used so much. So it means they sound the same. I know people who say "h," they say "which," "where," "whether." So when they do it, they kind of put an H in front of the sound. But I don't do it, and I think I don't know because I'm not everywhere to hear everybody's. But from what I can hear, I don't hear it. I don't hear the "h" very much. Sometimes mother uses it. So maybe older people use it more, but it's not. I don't hear so much, but I hear it. But I think maybe like 10% of the time I hear "h," and sometimes most of the time I hear "w" without an H. So, do you prefer? Do you make them same or different? If I were you, I would just use them the same because very few people really notice it.
Okay, you mean that I can pronounce?
Yeah. So which are you talking about? So they sound the same. I don't know whether the weather will be good. Weather. Yeah, I would just do it the same.
Weather or weather? Weather.
What was the question?
Weather or weather?
Weather. So I would pronounce them exactly the same, and I would say we, and then the voice th, there, weather, which. Them the same.
Yes.
It's a good question because I know the dictionary shows two ends of it, so you could use either one you wanted for these words, for WHICH and WHETHER. But of course, for the first ones, the which, which, and the weather, like the rain or the snow, you don't have choices. You have to say which weather. But for that, you can say which weather or which weather. Yeah. And some other dialects of English outside of North America tend to get more. I'm not entirely sure. I would have to ask. But thanks. Any other questions you can think of?
Yes, I want to ask.
Okay.
Okay, send a message. First, I want to distinguish this word rule.
So the difference between RULE and ROLE. When you have an L after and or an O, especially after that O, the sound may not be as long as it typically would be. This one, though, rule, when you make the oo sound, your lips will be pretty small. Roo, roo. And this one is going to be a little bit bigger. Rule, roll. So when you say rule, your lips are pretty round and tight. Roll, your lips are going to be pretty big.
Roll. Okay.
Yep, that's it. Now, you always bring interesting words, I know, so let me think about this. So I can tell you the first two pretty easily. And these are not really everyday words. Maybe some people will disagree with me, but I think this one. So this one is acquiesce. And acquiesce, in case you don't know, anybody knows, it means like to agree. So acquiesce. So yes. Acquiesce.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and
Acquiesce.
I think I read this. So we're going to use this, the America pattern. So we'll put in it. We'll say now, this word, I don't even know it. I'm going to check my dictionary. Yeah. I guess I don't know all the chemicals. Let me open up my dictionary here and see. Dictionary. Dictionary.com has
medicine for malaria. Is that right?
Right.
And I would. Okay.
The Chinese hours. Like, is that right? In medicine.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't even know if the dictionary doesn't even show me. It doesn't have a word. Spell it for everybody.
Wikipedia has some pronunciation. Maybe I can copy.
That would be good. Artemisinin. That's probably it.
Mezzanine?
Yeah.
Artemisinin. Does anybody know what this is? So that looks good. They do their interesting. That's Wikipedia, Marty?
Yeah.
Look how the I has a little line through it, and it's showing us that it's a schwa. This is yes, what?
Is that mezzanine?
I think that they're going to say artemisinin. Artemis, that's what it looks like. I don't know the word.
I thought this was about the back seats. It's called mezzanine, right? Mezzanine row.
If it's related.
For malaria. Yeah.
Well, she's a pharmacist. I would go with what she says. But
and I was given this medicine, so I
just in case. Okay.
Medicine.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. So acquiesce. It's not an everyday word, but it definitely is a word you should know if you're educated. Emeritus. But the last word, I don't know.
What about
okay? Say it again. Acquiesce. Yeah, well, what it is when we look at the patterns of it, it's strong here. It's going to be a little bit weak here, but you still hear an E, and then here have your medium sound. Acquiesce.
Yes.
I acquiesce.
Okay.
I agree. Do you have anything else you can think of? Any other quick questions? Well, no whether I acquiesce about the wish.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Hello? Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you guys came tonight. I'm glad that you were able to come to this class. Maybe know a little bit more about Halloween and definitely a few new words, so that's always advantageous. Hope you acquiesce. So,
yeah.
Hope to see you again in other classes soon. We've got a few new coming up for this next month, so I'll let you know. All right. Well, thank you very much, and take care. Have a happy Halloween, okay? Be safe, but have a good time.
Thanks.
Okay. Take care.
You too,
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.